Great evening, guys. It's me, Arlene J Ramsey, CEO and founder of Everyone Let's Talk, also your favorite self-wealth mentor. I'm going to talk a little bit about the Jordan Davis case. I'm not going to get into the specifics of that case because it's just tiresome. I just want to give my opinion as far as the outcome of the case and why the outcome was the way it is. This part here is for the lawyers. Lawyers, you guys reach out to me. All of you. I need you guys to reach out to me. It's evident that they're fooling around with wordplay and finding loopholes in words and in the laws, in the judicial system when it comes to cases like this, and they're winning. But the reason why they're winning is because we're going up in these courtrooms inferior. We're going up in here afraid to handle these cases like we should handle them. Just like they're able to find loopholes, we should be able to know the loopholes that they will find and have some type of combat or rebuttal or whatever it is you want to call it. You're a lawyer. You know exactly what to do. Why isn't that happening? Why aren't we as people, or let's just say, I don't want to say we as people, why aren't the lawyers gathering up some soldiers who are also lawyers to work on pinpointing those loopholes, bringing them back to you so you guys can come up with a way in which you can combat that, or either take all of it to the judicial system and have them rewrite all of the laws. Again, I'm not getting into the specifics of the case because the actual problem are the laws and the loopholes that are in the laws and the inferiority that our lawyers are going up into these courtrooms with. You don't go into courtrooms with the S on your chest. You don't. And that's a very frightening thing to witness over and over and over again. Yet for all, you guys go so hard on your own kind. See, I'm the opposite. For my brothers and sisters, they think I have absolutely no fight in me for them. Some may consider me to be a weak link. They just don't see the fight in me. And that's because I refuse to put forth that type of energy and that type of fight that I have within me towards my brother and sister. That's a negative. I will never do that because you can't come at me hard enough for me to give you that type of fight unless it's a life and death situation. However, when I dealt with workplace bullying in corporate America, in the international business, oh yeah, that's where it went down. See, a couple of them are still our friends on my Facebook page. They know exactly what I'm talking about. But just if they were to listen to this video, they will remember exactly what I'm talking about. I gave corporate America a hard time. I even beat their system and was able to quit, give them 2-week notice, and still collect my unemployment for 2 years. People think you can't quit and collect unemployment. Yes, you can. I was able to do that. Me, African American from Newark, New Jersey. I'm not playing. The militancy that I went up in this place with, the extensive information that I kept, the chain of events that I kept, all those things that you need to do in order to beat people who are, how can I say, presenting you with nothing but injustice. That type of fight that we display towards one another is what we should have for the judicial system and any system that exhibits injustice. You know, and I hate to go back on to talking about Nicki Minaj again, but this brings me back to how hard we go in on Nicki Minaj. Now, let me just remind you guys that she's not American. Nicki Minaj was born in Trinidad from St. James. I have family in Trinidad. I done been to St. James. She's not American, and she's also not completely Afro. She's mixed. All right. Now, her whole reasoning for that picture, that cover, again, as I said on my last recording, you haven't spoken to her. You don't know which angle or direction she was coming from. But let me tell you something. She gave a lot of the newer generation an idea of who Malcolm X really is. I mean, I've handled situations right here in Newark, New Jersey, where African American people have told me, who do you think you are, Martin Luther King? You think you're Martin Luther King Jr.? How do you disrespect Dr. If I'm regulating something and putting an end to a fight that was getting ready to happen, an injustice that was getting ready to happen between two African Americans, and one person decided to say something to me and ask me, who do I think I am? Do you think you're Dr. Martin Luther King? So, before we're so quick to harp on Nicki Minaj for that, let's pay attention to her lyrics if you even give it time. She's not talking about shooting and killing her own kind. She doesn't talk, tell your daughters to be hoes and strippers or degrade themselves. How she chooses to put herself out there is her problem, and she sacrificed a lot to put herself out there like that. If you think she don't love herself, fine, let it be. But guess what? You don't buy her music. How many African American people buy Nicki Minaj's music? I have two other artists for you, Kanye West and Jay-Z. You guys don't buy their music. A lot of you liked Jay-Z when he first came out because that's when he was talking about shooting and killing a nigga, when he used to be the dope dealer and he was real gritty. You like that. You like that. That's the type of music that you support. But the music now, which is reflective of his growth, which has nothing to do with hood, he's talking about growth. You don't support it. You don't buy it. So how is it that you still turn around and say that Jay-Z, Kanye West, and Nicki Minaj is influencing your children when you don't buy their music? Also, neither one of them are talking about violence in their music. So if they're not talking about violence in their music, how is it that our inner cities are projecting violence? Where are they getting it from? See, you guys do so much talking, whining, complaining, just so much just so much of everything that it just doesn't add up. What about Chief Keef? What about Lil Wayne? I'm going to bring Lil Wayne up again. You say Nicki Minaj don't love herself, but Lil Wayne don't love himself because he put down dark-skinned women. He don't like dark-skinned women at all. He wouldn't like me either. I'm not dark-skinned, I'm brown-skinned, but anything brown and dark, he talked about us like we're dogs. We're less than. And look at his complexion. I don't know what complexion his mom is, but his mother is a black woman. But he put down dark-skinned women. You guys let that ride. You guys buy R. Kelly's music, and R. Kelly has been convicted of molestation or whatever that it was called. I'm not even going to get into the specifics of that, but you guys know what I'm talking about, what happened a few years ago. But you still love R. Kelly. And instead of wasting your energy harping on Nicki Minaj, stating that her, Beyonce, Rihanna, they don't love themselves, which, by the way, let me tell you guys something. You never hear neither one of them in any scandal. You never heard them sleeping around with multiple men. Okay, neither one of them is a Kim Kardashian. So how is it that either one of them are hoes? Yeah, they may be very sexual, but neither one of them are in the news for actually being whores and tramps. No one has come forth and say, oh yeah, I've had so-and-so, I've had so-and-so. You don't hear that about them. So how is it that they're whores and tramps? And if you think they don't love themselves, let's think about what you guys support, what the world buy. I bet you artists like Jennifer Hudson, well, I don't want to, let me not say never, but Jennifer Hudson isn't as big as Beyonce. Why is that? Okay, she loves herself. She didn't bleach her skin. She lost a lot of weight. That's called loving yourself. She lost weight, trimmed down. There are African American women like Angela Bassett, Nia Long. No. Hi guys, it's me. I got cut off. I left off talking about women, African American women who do love themselves. I mentioned Nia Long, Angela Bassett. There's India Arie. There's Heather Headley. There's Oprah Winfrey, Whoopi Goldberg, Gabrielle Union, Gabrielle Douglas, Sanaa Lathan, The list goes on. So instead of talking about women who you think, because we don't know that to be a fact, that's just an assumption and opinion. So instead of harping on women who you think don't love themselves, why not lift the women who do love themselves up high? And I want to correct myself before someone correct me when I said you never heard Rihanna in any scandal. I meant as far as scandal, as far as being a whore. We all know about the scandal between her and Chris Brown, but we haven't heard her in any other scandal as far as sleeping around with different men. Okay, and that goes for Nicki, Beyonce, and Rihanna. Alright, and let me just remind you guys that Beyonce, she was protected from that. Remember, her father laid down all the groundwork for her. Her father protected her from having to be like that. And then after that, she got married to Jay-Z. So there's absolutely no reason for Beyonce to be a whore. She was protected all the way around. So you guys don't keep the facts in your head. You just talk. You go by what you see. Let's remember that they're also all entertainers. They're all entertainers. And guys talk about this drunken love song to no end, when you know fully well that you get more than drunk in love. And you're not just, she's talking about being drunk in love with her husband. So kudos to her that they know how to keep their marriage exciting. You guys pop Molly, smoke weed, get drunk, do all kinds of crap with strangers. Okay? Half of you are not married, but you do that and then some with people who you don't know. And then you have the audacity to talk about this song. You guys are ridiculous sometimes. Just listen to yourself. Listen to yourself and then think about all the things that you do in your life. Like, I have no place judging anybody. I stick to principles, ethics, integrity, morals, those type of things I stick to. But I've had my fair share days of having fun along the lines of principles. I was never a whore, never loose, never any of that. But I've had my fair days of just being silly and having fun. What's wrong with that? And to get back to how you guys display so much hatred towards people who you consider to be stupid. Is that a crime? If anything, the person who's stupid harmed themselves more than they harm anyone else. And since you're harping on, and I'm going back to Nicki Minaj again, I know I'm jumping around in this recording, but I'm going back to her again with that photo. Did anyone reach out to Betty Shabazz when her grandson started that fire and burned that apartment up, in which Betty later on succumbed and died due to injuries because of that fire? Did any one of you reach out to that family and talk to that family? Did any one of you reach out to the family when one of Malcolm's daughters were in the news? There was something going on where the family were beefing back and forth, and it made it to the news. Did anyone step out of their comfort zone and go speak to that family? Let them know, hey, you know what? Let's remember, your father left a great legacy. Your father left a legacy. He was killed by his own kind. Let's try to keep this scandal, this stuff out of the news. Did any one of you do that? You don't. You guys want to cling, hold on to Malcolm X and Dr. Martin Luther King, and neither one of you have an ounce of revolution in you. Your revolution is inferior. You do nothing. You get on Facebook and you tell people what they want to hear so you can get 100 and something likes. I could care less about a Facebook like. Actually, I want Facebook to insert a respect button. I prefer respect. I don't care about a like. And I'm not, and I know I'm watched. I know that I'm watched, and I know I'm saying things that people don't want to hear, and I'm glad. I love striking nerves because people need to start thinking differently from how they are thinking. But to get on Facebook and to get anywhere and talk about, oh, how dare you use Malcolm X's picture? To me, in my opinion, she held Malcolm up high. That was respect. But I get it. You guys don't want Nicki Minaj to do it because you can't stand her lyrics. So who is someone like Nicki Minaj to associate herself with Malcolm X? If anything, you guys should be reaching out to her, wanting to talk to her, wanting to school her, school her on some consciousness if she'll listen. But a lot of you conscious people out there, you guys have one-track minds, and you're only conscious to a certain degree, a certain level of consciousness. It's like you're in this box. You leave no room to understanding how other people play the game. You stick to your consciousness and you don't want to hear nothing. And a lot of you are in the basement smoking weed, chain smoking weed every day, all day, drinking cheap liquor throughout the day. Not really doing too much of anything progressive, but you know a whole lot about history. You know how to speak in a way that the past historians spoke. You know all of that. Egypt, ancient Kemet, you guys know about all of that stuff, but you're not doing anything with that information. You're not. And anyone who displays an ounce of revolution, which is a bit different from your liking or different from your beliefs, you go out of your way to shut them down, regardless if they're from your same race or not. You don't care. You don't care. So, it shows in what we do all across the border. This is not just a Newark thing. This is going all across the 52 states, the United States of America. Anywhere where there are inner city, this is the problem that we're going to have. We go hard on each other, but when it comes to those laws and that court system, you guys show just how inferior you are. You have no heart. No heart. Sometimes I wish I chose to take up the profession of law. Yeah, I'd have been more like Johnny Cochran in that piece. There's not enough of us who are willing to support each other, have each other's back. I bet you if Nicki Minaj told you guys what was really going down in the music industry and say, listen, I need the support from you guys. Can you guys please at least help me out? If you can guarantee me that you'll have my back, I swear to God, I'll do you guys right. I'll be the vanguard. I'll be on the front line, but I need you guys to have my back. We going up against some big dogs. How many of you guys will do it? How many of you will do it? Not too many. There was only one group from Newark, New Jersey, who went against Puffy when he came out with that Coke Boy shit, and that was Al Tariq and them from Stop Shooting Inc. If you don't know about them, look them up. Google them. They on Google. They on Facebook. They heavy on the street. They go up against that. They went up against Puffy. But how many of us go up against anybody? I do. But I'm just me. One African American woman. I don't have no troopers behind me. I don't. I don't do it. I don't really need that. I just do what I have to do. But I suggest you guys start looking at things from different angles. Drop that one-track mind. That's what's killing us. Life don't work that way. It doesn't. Shout out to Jordan Davis. Sorry that the family had to hear such news. The person, Mr. Dunn, I'm not sure how long he'll be behind bars. Again, I did not get into the specifics of the case because it's just typical. It's the same old thing. I want to hear when we start combating those laws. When we go up in there, go in that courtroom and really be brave and really stand for justice and not go in the courtroom as this is a black on white thing. You go in there with that type of attitude and it's a wrap. No, we need to start having the perspective and the mindset of... I got cut off again. I left off with saying that we need to go into courtrooms with the perspective and the mindset of this is justice against injustice. That's it. Go in there with the mindset speaking on the fact of the system is getting over via loopholes in the laws. And due to that, we are being presented with injustice over and over and over again. Those are the type of arguments that we need to have, and debates that we need to have in the law, in when it comes to dealing with law and in the judicial system. Also, in talking about debates, you guys know I love to debate. As a race, as a people, we don't like debating. We don't like debating, and you guys should realize that how can I say, debating is an art. It is a skill, and it is something that we should learn to indulge in. Learn to indulge in debates. That's how you become great at winning warfare. And when I talk about warfare, I'm not saying physical warfare. I'm talking about mental and verbal warfare. And that's something that we don't know about. Well, let me not say we. I know about it. But as a race, as a whole, that's something you don't know about, because our race, we like to get physical. We like to pull guns out and shoot each other, stab each other, beat each other up. You know nothing about mental and verbal warfare. But that's something that the rest of the world know about. That's what they're playing with. Something you need to get into. And before I close out, I also want to talk about Rick Ross, since we harp on Nicki Minaj and how much you think she don't love herself. Rick Ross, I'm going to bring him up again, where he talked about popping a Molly in a girl's drink and she didn't even know it. And you know, you had big corporations who had to, what I think they dropped him, or they said something about those lyrics. But I don't recall neither one of us harping on him for talking about popping a Molly in a woman's drink and she didn't know it. What happens when somebody puts something in your drink? Then that means that that woman now becomes victim to whatever it is that a man or a group of men will do to her wherever she is, because they done put a drug in her drink. That's something that women go fight up against over and over again. In today's time, we still have women. We have to protect ourselves from vultures. But neither one of you really talk about that. And as I pointed out in another recording, there aren't enough men who state their opinion against men who operate like that, against men who rape, who molest children, who put Mollies and Mickeys in girls' drinks and women drinks. There's not enough of you who talk about that. But all of you, no, let me not say all of you, not absolute, but many of you are harping on Nicki Minaj. Ridiculous. Ridiculous. You can't be selective in your revolution. You know, you can't have morals and principles for one thing and not have morals and principles for anything else. Then that means you don't have morals and principles at all. You just like to talk and see where you can fit yourself in to get the most Facebook likes and get a lot of people to follow you and what you have to say, because you have a business going on. But whenever you're a righteous person and you do things based off of morals and principles and integrity, honor, all that stuff, you're not selective. That stuff goes across the board. And before you start talking and running your mouth and posting up on Facebook, you'll do your research. You'll want to know why things are coming before you looking like this. So you're going to do your research and see what's going on behind closed doors on the back end. So when you do talk about this, that's on the forefront, you can at least say, well, here, I know where it's coming from. We need to handle this right here that's happening in the back end so we can have a better forefront. And I don't care who you are. You can be from the government system, the judicial system, the school system. I can care less who you are. You can even come from me in this recording. My debating skills is up to par. My research is up to par. I will give you a run for your money. Don't believe me? Try me. Try me. Because before I talk, I do my research. I do my research. It's not just cut and dry like that. I may say some things that may seem cut and dry, but it doesn't just end there. I do extensive research on things that I choose to talk about or things that I'm passionate about. I know where it's coming from. We're up for a losing battle. Up for a losing battle. Where are the samurais? Where are the righteous people? Not the selective righteous people, but the overall righteous people. Where are you guys? The world needs you. Because I can't do it alone. I need you. And the rest of the world needs you. Alright, I'm closing out. And again, I'll have something for you guys later on in the week, of course. Enjoy the rest of your weekend, okay? Alright, peace.